Hey guys, it's Melissa here from Reiki with Melissa. So I again asked my spiritual team what I should be talking to you about today. And what I got was that it's time for us to rise up and to risk, put our necks out, do whatever in order for us to be living our best life possible. So for some of you, you may be feeling pulled in a new direction in your career. You may feel that you're being called to do something more than you're doing right now, whether it's being in service to others. I don't know. I don't know exactly what's going on with each of you individually. I just know as a collective, I'm getting the message that we need to rise up, take risks, and to step more into our power fully. And so I don't know what that means for you. It means something different for every person, but I'll tell you what that means for me. For me, it means showing up more fully, being there for others, being in service as far as stepping into my power as a light worker. So it means showing up for my Facebook Lives and doing meditations and doing readings, which I will tell you scared the crap out of me when I first started doing it. It really did. And if I were waiting until I were perfect to do it, I would never get done. So I had to decide that I was going to rise up and to take a risk. I could have taken a risk, and I did take a risk. I take a risk every time I go live on Facebook that nobody will show up. And isn't that our deep down fear for some of us, is that nobody's going to care? Nobody will be there. Nobody gives a crap what you're doing. What you're doing isn't important. I mean, those are our fears that deep down, those things we hear, those voices in our head that tell us that we don't know everything. So what makes us think that we have any kind of authority to go out and start telling others what to do? Right? How many of you have heard that in your head before? Well, that's very, very normal to feel that way and to hear that, because that's your ego. It's your ego telling you that you don't know enough, that you're not enough, that you're never going to know enough, that people don't really care what you have to say. And the thing that I can say about that is this bull. It absolutely is. Since doing this podcast, I've had people who reach out to me from all over the world to tell me that what I do makes a difference and it matters and it helps them with their day and helps them to live their best life possible. And that's all I set out to do in doing this podcast. I never said I'm going to sit down and it has to be perfect. You've heard some of my podcasts. Some of them, there's crackling noise in the back. And on some of them, you can hear doors slamming where my children were home and I'm trying to record this. And you can tell them until you're blue in the face that they need to be quiet, but having teenagers, that's not going to happen. It didn't have to be perfect. I didn't have to be perfect to show up. I didn't have to know it all, okay? And are there going to be people who call you out? Maybe. There might be. But it doesn't matter. Because remember, the people who don't understand your mission are not part of your tribe, and they're not the reason that you're doing what you're doing. There are people out there that we are trying to reach who need us. They need our light. They need us to shine the light for them so that they can find their path. And those are the people that we're talking to, that we're, for me, doing Reiki for, doing card readings for, doing a podcast for. Those are my people. Okay, people who feel like they have their lives totally together probably aren't going to like my podcast. And you know what? Those people probably don't really have their lives together anyway. But those are not the people that I'm doing this podcast for. So if you find yourself wondering who's going to care, I would urge you to do this. I would urge you to think about who it is you're helping. Because if you can keep an actual person in mind, and it doesn't have to be somebody you know, but just like for me, I know that typically the people that I work with are women, and typically they're they range in age from 30 to in their 50s, and, they have certain demographics. And it doesn't mean I can't help people who aren't in that demographic, but that's generally the type of person that I'm helping. And you'll probably find that you have one particular type of person, and that's fine. It's actually helpful because then you can picture that person, that imaginary client, if you will, if this is something you're doing for a business, or if it's just something you're volunteering for, that imaginary person that you're volunteering for. What do they need from you? What are you helping them with? That might help you to see that you're not doing this for no reason, and that it doesn't matter if people that you're friends with or your family members don't understand what you're doing and they criticize you, because you're not doing it for your friends and family. You're doing it for that ideal client or that ideal person you're volunteering to work with. You're doing it for that person. And so if you feel these doubts start rising up, I want you to think about what would happen if you didn't show up, if you didn't respond to the calling that I know you're getting, if you didn't show up fully to do what you're here to do, what would happen? When I think about my own journey, I took a spiritual boot camp class back in March. It was like the end of March, beginning of April. And it changed my life. And in fact, I modeled my program, A Purposeful Pilgrimage, after this program because it had such a profound effect on me. It changed everything in my life, including the path I was going down for my career. It's changed that. Changed everything. The way I show up in relationships, everything, for the better. And I think about what would have happened if I had not found that class. None of you would be listening to this podcast because there was no way in the world I would have ever fathomed having a podcast, because I had the same doubts that you might be having. Who's going to listen? Who cares? There were people who cared and people who listened, much to my surprise. Where would the people be that have come and have received Reiki? Yeah, they would still be around. I would still be around. I would not feel as fulfilled as I do right now. I would not know for certain that there's so much more out there and so many great things out there. I'd still be stuck in this rabbit hole of depression, not knowing what to do. But instead, I've come full circle. I've had profound healing emotionally, and I've actually discovered what my true purpose is. That would not have happened if the person who's mentored me wouldn't have stepped into her role and stepped into her light. I would never have found that person, and then she wouldn't have encouraged me, and she would not have been the reason that I turned around and did what I did. You never know who is waiting for you to show up. And it could be something as simple as, I'm just going to start posting positive things on my Facebook page every day because I think the world needs more positivity. It could be something that simple. That's how I started. I just decided I was going to start a page where I just posted positive things all the time. And from there, it grew into, I should do a podcast. Oh, well, I should do this. And it just grew and grew and grew. Oh, I should write a book. All of it. It didn't start with everything all at once. It was one idea that grew into another idea, that grew into another idea until it became a vision for my life. But all of those things interconnectedly are supporting my mission and my purpose in life, which is to help people heal and to teach people about unconditional love. So, what's your mission? What's your purpose? And are you aligned with it? And if not, what are you waiting for? What's holding you back? And it can be very scary. Trust me, I know. I knew right away that there were going to be family members who probably didn't agree with what I did. And I had to let that go. And the surprising thing is, I haven't really heard anything from them. And the ones who were close to me and would support me anyway have supported me even more than before. And I was really surprised by that, in a good way. So I pulled 2 cards for you today. They are from the deck Crazy Sexy Love Notes. The first one says, risk it, right? Great things are born from those brave enough to fly. Those who are willing to risk failure. Your dreams require action, and you're ready to make a move. Remember, you have nothing to lose. Even if you flop, you'll receive valuable insight. So get off your butt and take a leap. Go for it. And that's the thing. That's the number one thing people are afraid of is failure. And the only failure is getting knocked down and not getting back up again. Every successful person that I can think of has failed. They let it teach them. They took their lessons, they licked their wounds, and they got right back up again and took what they learned and made whatever they were doing better. And that's what you have to do. That's what success is. It's not never failing. It's allowing what you fail at to teach you to become better. I tell my students that all the time. I don't want perfect students. It's fine if you make mistakes. That's how you learn. It's how we all learn. And when you're making mistakes, we're learning from it just as much as when you do things the right way. It's when we don't fix our mistakes that we're failing. The second card I pulled from you from the same deck is It's Time to Rise. It's the universe here. No matter what's happening in our lives, we always have the potential to rise above it. Rising is one powerful choice away. Rise out of our negative thoughts or our limiting beliefs. Rise out of our comfort zone or our complaints. Rise out of our slump or out of the potato chip bag. Get up and rise. What are you waiting for, darling? So, if you have people who are against you, rise above that. You know those people are put in your path for a reason. It's to test your strength, to test your ability to be secure in yourself. Because when those people come at you, you have a choice. You can slink down and hide and say, I'm never going to put myself out there again because look what happened. Or you can say, I don't care what you think. I'm going to do myself. I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to be me, and it doesn't matter what you think of me. And there is definitely a freedom in feeling that way and in ignoring the criticism of others. But the thing you have to do is believe in yourself and to do it already. Okay? Quit waiting. There's never going to be a right time. It's now or never. You're being called, and you know what you're being called to do. You just have to do it and have faith that the universe has your back. And that if it doesn't go the way you think it's going to go the first time, don't quit. Keep going. Lick your wounds and take your lessons and realize that's just the universe telling you you can do this better. And we're going to show you how. If you feel like you're being called to do something and you just really don't know what, take my class, A Purposeful Pilgrimage. The name says it all. Pilgrimage is a journey. It's a soul journey. Purposeful meaning we learn what our purpose is and how we are to be of service here while we're on earth. We didn't come here to be tortured and then go back. That's not why we're here. Yet so many of us live as if that is why we were here. Like life is hell and it's rough and then we die. You know, I mean, how many times have you heard that expression? Life's a bitch and then you die. No, that's not why we're here. It's not supposed to be that way. And when you learn to change your mindset and get out of that negative belief system and stop thinking that everything's happening to you and realize that when things happen, they're happening for you. If you would get out of your comfort zone more often, the universe would not have to push you out there. When things like that are happening, it's because you're not taking risks yourself. So the universe has to step in and do it for you. It's like your friends when you're standing over, let's say you're standing on the edge of the water and you're going to jump in, but it's kind of high and you get really scared. There's always that one friend in your group who pushes the person when they don't realize they're getting ready to be pushed out in there, and they push them into the water, and then you're fine afterwards. It's a little startling, but then you're like, oh, wow, yeah, because you wouldn't have done it. You wouldn't have jumped yourself, so the friend has to push you in. That's the universe. The universe is pushing you off the edge, going, get out of your comfort zone. Why are you staying there? Nothing's happening there. There's stagnation. That's all that's happening there because you're not living to your potential. And it's like, quit it. If the universe could come up and slap you, it would. Because you're not getting it. You're still staying stuck. You're still staying small. And you know what? Some people balk at having to spend money on classes for personal development, especially if they don't get a college credit for it. You know what? Aren't you worth the investment? Isn't any investment in yourself priceless? I think it is. I think it totally is. There might have been a time when I might have had to think about something before spending money on myself. Those times are over because I know what I'm worth, and I know that it's worth it to me to make myself a better person and to live a better life. And in taking courses like A Purposeful Pilgrimage, where you learn how to get rid of limiting beliefs that are keeping you stuck, you learn to set healthy boundaries and what healthy relationships look like, how to figure out what your purpose is, how to get into a regular meditation practice, how to forgive those who have not even asked for your forgiveness, how to let go of those old emotional wounds and cords that were tied energetically to those situations and people who aren't serving us. All of those things are going to help you live a better life. And you're worth it. So don't wait today. Sign yourself up for the program. Get a Reiki session if you're feeling like you need to balance your energy, balance your chakras. If you've been feeling badly, if you're suffering from ascension symptoms, it can be like flu-like symptoms, or if you're not sleeping at night, oh my gosh, Reiki can help you with that too. You can just do a one-on-one session with me if you're just feeling poorly and you don't know what you need, and we can figure it out. Invest in yourself and stop dragging your feet. It's time to rise. It's time to risk. Nothing was ever gained by taking no risk. There's always risk involved in everything. All right, guys. Once again, I so super appreciate you listening to me and being part of my tribe. And I am so super grateful for you. And I hope that I'm helping someone in some way, because that is definitely part of my mission. If you like this podcast, please share it with others. Anyone who could use the help, please comment or leave reviews. Those kinds of things help other people find me. You can follow me, then you'll know every time a new episode is published. Please come join me on my Facebook Lives. They were every Monday and Wednesday, but I just started a new class for myself because I still believe in myself too, and I still believe in investing in myself. I do self-development courses all the time because I think they're so necessary. And I'm taking one now, and it's every Monday. So I've switched to Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And Tuesday tonight, they're at 6 o'clock, Wednesday at 7. I'm still going to be doing card readings on Tuesday and guided meditations on Wednesday, and you can still be selected to be chosen for a reading, even if you're not present. If you go back and watch the replay and type replay and let me know you were there, I will still select some people for a reading. I really appreciated all the people who are showing up and who send me messages. It's awesome. You guys are awesome. You know that. I hope you have a fabulous day, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.